Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about Jonathan Kuminga and why the situation he's in is bad for everyone involved. It's bad for the Kings, the Warriors, and Jonathan Kuminga. So the first situation is the Golden State Warriors. They're reportedly close to cutting Kuminga off from trade talks and giving him the option of signing the 2-year, $45 million deal or his qualifying offer, which is $7.9 million. There's three situations that could happen here. Number one, the Warriors fold. They accept a trade from the Kings or the Suns. And I think that is what the Warriors should do because Kuminga obviously doesn't want to be in Golden State. I think he's lost trust in Steve Kerr because of what Steve Kerr has done to him. Steve Kerr has really not allowed Kuminga to play much of a role. Kuminga has not been able to blossom in Golden State, and I think Kuminga's fed up and wants to change teams. He knows that if he goes to Sacramento, he'll have a very good chance to be the starting power forward on a team that is rebuilding, but they're not terrible, and they're probably only a few pieces away from being a good playoff team in the West. So obviously Kuminga wants to go to the Sacramento Kings. So if Kuminga could choose, he would go there. He would get his 4 years, $90 million. And for Kuminga, that's the best case scenario. But the Warriors are likely going to force him to not do that. And I think Kuminga would take the qualifying offer because what it does is it gives him another year to prove himself and make more money potentially. And it gives him a conditional no trade clause, which pretty much makes it so he can veto any trade. So, and then also it would make it so that any teams trading for him would not have the bird rights. And this is huge because this makes it so the Warriors couldn't trade him to a contender if he was having an amazing year because the contender would not be able to pay him after that. So it would be a 1-year rental, so they would not be able to get much back because teams are not willing to throw that much money on a 1-year rental. The other thing it does is the Warriors couldn't trade him to a bad team like the Wizards who would have the cap space to sign him because he could just veto the trade. So if the Warriors sign him, they're pretty much stuck with him for a year and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent, so he'll likely just leave. If I'm the Warriors, unless you're all in on this year and you think Kuminga can really, really help you this year and then you're fine if he leaves, it's better to just get something for him. The Suns are offering Royce O'Neal and 4 second-round picks, as well as Nick Richards. That is not the best trade package, obviously. Only 4 second-round picks, Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal. But Nick and Looney, their front court is pretty much Quinn and Post, and that's pretty much it. They could bring in 2 very good role players, Royce O'Neal and Nick Richards. The Kings offer, which I think is a little bit better, they would be getting Dario Saric, who, again, he played really, really well for Golden State in their run a few years back. And then they also get Devin Carter, first-round pick last year. Didn't play much due to injuries, but he still has very high potential. He was a lottery pick. They also would get a protected Kings first-round pick. And in the future, I see the Kings being, bad, but not that bad. So it probably wouldn't fall under the protections, and it would be somewhere around the 8 to 10 range, maybe. The trade is obviously not perfect. Only getting that much for Kuminga, who looked like the Warriors' next guy for a little bit. But really, it's their only option. Kuminga is probably not going to accept the 2 years, $45 million. And if he did, that is the Warriors' best case scenario. He accepts that, all the trade value, and they can maybe just keep him and move with him going forward. But really, the Warriors are put in a position where they can either choose to have 1 more year of Kuminga and then pretty much just let him go, or take the Kings deal and say goodbye to Kuminga. Ultimately, that would probably be the best situation for the Warriors, because I just don't see Kuminga accepting that 2 years, $45 million. For the Kings, I honestly don't love them. I like going for Kuminga, but giving him 4 years, $90 million, Like, he has not proven to be a star in the NBA yet. And they're also going to be giving up a first-round pick, giving up on Devin Carter, who their guard room is not amazing right now. Keon Ellis is good. They're refusing to give Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray, which I do like, because honestly, Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray are both better than Jonathan Kuminga, in my opinion. So why would you give them up in the deal? So really, it's definitely not a terrible trade for the Kings if it does go forward, but it's just not a great deal. For the Suns, it would be amazing, honestly. They really do not have very many pieces left, and giving up 2 older role players that they don't really need anymore, as well as a bunch of second-round picks, would probably be good. But also, giving up that many second-round picks, that's like the only assets that the Suns have left at this point. So I just don't know about that either. But it's really going to be an interesting thing that unfolds, and I think it's just going to be bad for everyone involved. And let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time on No Bias Hoops.